Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at the ES today. And you can see the ES, this was actually a really narrow range day today. We've been averaging a little over 40 points a day in movement in the ES. And you can see today it's just a little under 20. The low of the day was 38.68.50. The high of the day was 38.88.25. So again, just a little bit under 20 points total for the entire day. Obviously, when you have narrow range days like that, you have less trading opportunities. So you just have to keep it simple. And here's were a couple opportunities that we did have in the ES today. First thing this morning, you could see the ES was consolidating sideways right in here. And right in here is where we came into the US session. And you can see the ES just ran up here to the top, pulled back, and then just started chopping sideways in here. We ended up with a bunch of power lines down here, pushed up, made a double top, and then just continued to chop sideways. So we were able to put in a channel line up here at the top because here was our double top. Here was our power lines down below, and we just wait for a breakout of compression. We broke out to the downside. That was good for one target. And then we got a little better setup here. We pulled back up into the moving averages, got the Trender Pro 2.0 signal to the downside, and that move down was good for three targets or $300 per contract. And then the ES abruptly headed right back the other way and then started pivoting. We broke above the cloud, pulled down into the cloud. Now you had a wick out of the cloud set up right here, and we like these. We like to see price break the cloud, pull back down, give a wick out of the cloud, push up, and that would have been good for two targets if you had traded that. And then as we came into the afternoon session, we started to pivot again. And you can see we had a pivot high right here at 38.83 and a quarter. And that was a double top from back here earlier, which was also 38.83 and a quarter. So that's pretty well defined resistance. That's two pivots at an identical price that were separated. That makes them more significant. You had larger price movement away from them before you came back to it. Makes it a more significant resistance area. And then, like I said, we put in this pivot down here, and then we started to pivot inside there. So we were able to put in another power line right here formed, and we had a new compression area. Now we're pivoting between that pivot high and that pivot low, pivoting back and forth. And then we break out of this significant resistance. And again, what makes this more significant is the fact that it came all the way back here and you had pretty decent price movement away from it and then a decent amount of price movement back to it. And then you pull back away from it yet again with a pretty decent move away. So that makes that a significant area of resistance. Break out of resistance, push up. We actually break through the session high. Didn't get much follow through, however. Ended up being a run on stops, but pushed up through there, and that was good for two targets, a couple $100 per contract. And again, we're in a real narrow range day, and so not a lot of opportunities. Failed up here in this area, and then you can see just chopped the rest of the afternoon. But it was a narrow range day, so you just keep it simple. And we got a couple of high probability breakout trades. We had this break of compression here, and then we had a break of compression here. Neither one of them amounted to much. We didn't get big moves off of those compression breaks, but it was a real narrow range day. So sometimes you just have to take what the market gives you, and if you keep it simple, you can still get a couple opportunities.